Around Easter we got some new chickens to go with the two we already had. They started off small and living inside, but now are much bigger and living outside. The run I built before wasn't really big enough for 4 of them, so I decided to build a new one. Before I started to build it, I sketched up some rough plans, and as every student should know, all drawings should be done in pencil. I like to try and draw roughly to scale, but these are only pretty rough plans. I was given some old decking boards to build from, so I decided to make a sheltered area to avoid the sun and rain with an attached house on top. At first I wanted to make the shelter 1 metre tall and 1 length of board wide, which is about 160 centimetres. I then realised it'd be easy to make it 4 boards high rather than 1 metre, meaning less cutting. The posts that would form the end of the enclosure will stick out from either corner to give it some structure when I attach the wire later. The house is going to be pretty standard pitched roof design, again using decking boards to make. The front and the back of the house will be 1 metre, as that's the size of the ground space I have for the run. I'll put a central pillar in place, hinge one of the sides of the roof for easy access for cleaning, and I'll cut a doorway into the front so the hens can actually get in. I got to work on it and made good headway until I realised that the posts also need to stick out of the bottom so they can be rammed into the floor. Scrap those plans and start again. Take 2. So the shelter will be the same shape, but the posts coming out at the bottom, obviously. I also realised when I was building that 1 metre 60 is really long, so I cut one edge I'd already made in half to give me 2 lengths of about 82 centimetres. It turns out the board length is 164 centimetres. Thankfully it's still going to be 4 boards high. The house should be the same as well. I sketched out a quick plan view showing the shelter on the left and roughly where I'd put the other posts and wire and the location of the doorway. The house will go on top of the shelter as shown. I cut most of the lengths of decking and started putting them together and was pretty pleased with my progress. When I lent it all together it kind of looked how I wanted it to, just without a front or a back wall yet. I was about to screw it all into place, and then my wife came home and told me she didn't think there was enough room in the house and we needed to have a bigger inside. Plan 3. Once I still have a pitch and a hinge to open it up for cleaning, the house is going to be 4 boards tall and have a doorway cut out so the chickens can get inside. The difference, the other side will be squared off and have a flat roof. I drew another plan view to show what I expect the house to look like from above. I'm going to use a drawbridge style door so it can be open and shut without having to go into the run at all. The house will be held together using more cuts of decking board screwed into place. So will the slope roof and the flat roof. For the central pillar I used some isosceles lengths to allow the hinged roof to fall at 45 degrees. I was going to plan a nesting box, but I figured it would just end up changing before I got round to making it, so I didn't bother. I finished building the whole thing over the course of 5 days. You can see how close it was to the plans by watching those videos, which are also available on my channel.